of success.
Anna, I still thank God and our new health center staff.
Me and my baby are strong and fine.
Now, wow.
Precious.
I hear say you won't born. I think say they go still send you go the general hospital like before.
Everything we I need, they our health center. The nurse talk say, madam, relax, we will take care of you. My friend, one single drugs I no buy for outside. Clean delivery rooms. Kind nurses, all the medicine they ready.
My friend, government don't they try you?
I go tell my sister make she can't go register for her own antenatal.
Yes, so government they bring all our health centers back to life. Waiting you they wait for. They like Precious. Know your health center. Trust your health center. Go health center way near you pass.
This message now from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA.
The Royal Air Conditioner sales promo is here, starting from August 28th to 29th, 2026. Stay cool while saving big. Get up to 50% off on award-winning floor-standing and split-unit air conditioners. Shop at your convenience at Sims Online and enjoy the benefits of Buy Now, Pay Later. For inquiries, call 020-1344-6506, 070-1222-3333. Remember, this is the biggest Royal AC promo of the year. This exclusive offer is available at Sims Digital Centers and other leading electronic stores nationwide. Royal, affordable luxury.
From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Anne Waodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, former Liberian President George Weah says the rule of law is crucial to safeguarding Africa's fragile democracies. He made this remark in his keynote address at the 66th Annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association. Civil society organization Serap asked INEC to disclose the measures it has put in place to monitor, investigate and enforce compliance with political donation limits and party financing rules during the ongoing electoral process. Young Progressive Party elects Peter Agada as its new presidential candidate at an emergency National Executive Council meeting monitored by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. And U.S. President Donald Trump says that Canada wants the benefits of being a U.S. state without actually becoming one, following the collapse of talks between both countries. President of Liberia, George Weah, is calling on members of the legal profession to strengthen the rule of law while warning that democracy cannot be built on strong men but on strong institutions. The former footballer turned politician made this call in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, while delivering the keynote address at the Nigerian Bar Association's annual general conference with the theme Beyond Limits.
It's day one of the Nigerian Bar Association's annual general conference, holding in Port Harcourt with the theme Beyond Limits. In attendance are legal minds from across the country, as well as dignitaries like the River State Governor, the Shehu of Borno, the former President of Liberia, George Weah, as keynote speaker.
Of a rich ecological heritage.
In his welcome address, NBA President Mazi Afam Osigwe recalls the association's decision to shelve last year's conference over the state of emergency and reflected on Nigeria's unrealized promise 66 years after independence.
We are reminded that when Nigeria gained independence on October 1st, 1960, there were a lot of hopes that Nigeria was going to be the beacon of Africa, was going to be like the lighthouse that was going to guide many African nations to greatness. 66 years after, and this is our 66th annual General Conference, that hope remains to be realized.
Declaring the conference open, River State Governor Similaye Fubara thanked the NBA for returning the AGC to Port Harcourt following the lifting of the state of emergency. He spoke on the judiciary's role as a refuge for the common man.
The ultimate aim of law is to protect and advance citizen security and the well-being by assuring equity before the law, safeguarding the fundamental human rights of all, and fostering an environment conducive to social economic activities and national development. Therefore, it is evident that order, peace, and meaningful human progress prevail wherever the law is treated as sovereign.
Delivering the keynote address, former President of Liberia, George Weah, warns that democracy is fragile and its enemies do not always announce themselves with tanks in the streets and requires the protection of the rule of law.
Democracy does not survive on strength of elections alone. Elections are now the doorway into democracy, not the horse itself. What holds us up, what keeps the roof from collapsing on the people live inside it, are institutions, and among the most important of these in every serious nation is an independent judiciary protected by a fearless principal bar.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, represented by the Chief Judge of Rivers State, spoke on the judiciary's readiness to adapt to a changing technology-driven world.
The world in which we practice is changing rapidly. Technology is transforming legal research, case management, and the delivery of legal services. While artificial intelligence is raising new technical questions, both for the bar and the bench, we must be prepared to understand this development and use them responsibly.
Other dignitaries, including the Shehu of Borno, the Chief of Army Staff Representative, the Uganda Law Society President, also delivered goodwill messages.
The first Vice President.
As the week-long conference continues in Port Harcourt, the message from its opening day is clear. Beyond the speeches and symbolism lies a shared hope that Nigeria's justice system can rise past its limits and finally deliver on the promise it owes every citizen who walks into a courtroom seeking fairness.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to disclose whether it had set limits on political contributions ahead of the 2027 general elections. In a Freedom of Information request dated August the 22nd, 2026, SERAP also asked INEC to publish the applicable limits and explain how it plans to monitor, investigate, and enforce compliance with political donations and campaign spending rules. The organization also wants the Commission to disclose how it will track cash and non-cash donations, digital and social media funding, third-party spending and contributions made through intermediaries. SERAP also called for the publication of political parties' financial records, including assets, liabilities, sources of funds, and expenditure from the year 2023 to 2025. The group says that greater transparency is necessary to ensure fair competition and protect the integrity of the 2027 elections. And as part of efforts to strengthen the political chances of the Young Progressives Party, the party has elected Mr. Peter Agada as its presidential candidate. Mr. Agada, who is replacing Mrs. Anita Zugwai Chukwu, also emerged as the presidential candidate at an emergency National Executive Committee meeting of the party monitored by INEC in Abuja. In his acceptance speech, Mr. Agada made a pledge to tackle poverty, insecurity and unemployment in Nigeria.
So a quick one, we're going to do a very quick introduction for everyone.
Today is about 140 million Nigerians that the IMF says are living at or below a national poverty line. It is also about 35 million citizens who will need food assistance during the 2026 lean season. It's already happening. 35 million persons are hungry. It is about 3.6 million persons, Nigerians, who remain internally displaced in their own country because of conflict and insecurity. It is about millions of young people who enter the labor market every year only to find that opportunity has left the room. I stand before you humbled, grateful, ready to accept this mandate as the presidential candidate of the Young Progressive Party for 2027. I did not come here by accident. I came because Nigeria is tired, and I'm tired too.
Yeah. Still talking about the general elections come 2027, the All Progressives Congress has held a town hall meeting in Kafanchan in southern part of Kaduna State. And that's part of efforts to engage stakeholders and showcase what the party describes as the achievements of President Bola Tinubu and Kaduna State Governor Sani Uba Sani. Well, the meeting brought together party leaders, government officials, community representatives and supporters with discussions focusing on infrastructure, healthcare, education, economic empowerment and other development initiatives.
It is a gathering of APC stakeholders in Kafanchan as the party takes its message of development and governance to the people of Southern Kaduna. At the town hall meeting organized by the Tinubu Uba Sani Mobilization Network, speakers highlight what they describe as the impact of Governor Uba Sani's administration in Kaduna State, alongside the federal government's renewed hope agenda under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Uba Sani has done this in the last 3.5 years. Ahmed Bola Tinubu has done this in the last 3.5 years. And that is why we are saying Uba Sani, Ahmed Bola Tinubu should be elected to lead when it's circumcised.
For some of the commissioners, the message from the town hall is clear. The party wants to use direct engagement with communities to communicate its record in government, while also seeking greater support for its programs at both the state and federal levels.
We are here in southern Kaduna, like in Kafanchan, from Kafanchan through Madakia to Madauchi, a 23 kilometer asphalt road initiated and completed by Its Excellency. Another one, 22 kilometer Pamemba connecting Zone 1 and Zone 3, initiated and completed by His Excellency.
This year, through the Nigeria Agricultural Development Fund, massive support to the farmers' input support. Fertilizer giving, you can just say 5,000 smallholder farmers benefited from 4 bags each free of charge for Mr. President. That is massive.
The meeting is coming at a time when Governor Obasani has been playing a prominent role in the APC's national mobilization effort. The expectation is that such engagement will continue to provide a platform for dialogue, accountability, and feedback ahead of next year's general election.
And ahead of the general elections in 2027, support for President Bola Tinubu is gathering momentum, this time in Plateau State, with the launch of the Tinubu Torchbearers, a women-led political mobilization group tasked with taking the president's renewed hope agenda to the grassroots. This initiative, which brought together women from states 17 local government areas, is also seeking to strengthen the APC's grassroots structure, build support for President Tinubu and other party candidates ahead of the polls. Our correspondent Pesida Bang reports.
As a torchbearer. It is a display of political mobilization as APC women from across Plateau State gathered for the launch of the Tinubu Torchbearers. The initiative is targeting women at the grassroots, with the newly inaugurated coordinators expected to drive support for President Tinubu and Governor Caleb Mutfwang ahead of 2027.
All of us, that we do not have any other way to go to than to remain in APC, work for APC from bottom to top, top to bottom. We do not have an excuse to talk about any other thing.
The APC North Central woman leader describes the inauguration as a call to service, taxing the coordinators to take the campaign to women in the grassroots.
The TTV is not here to undermine the power of the office of the state woman leader, but to work with the woman leader. If possible, receive instructions from the office of the state APC woman leader to help mobilize women in the grassroots, to bridge a gap between the party and the grassroots, to gain support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Governor Caleb Mutfwang, all the senators, all the House of Reps candidates, all the flag bearers, the House of Assembly that we have in the Plateau and Nigeria at large.
The Plateau State government believes the initiative should go beyond political support, stressing the need for responsible leadership, national unity, and policies that improve the lives of citizens.
I want you to make your organization a platform for positive political engagement, grassroots mobilization, civic education, and community development. Take the message of hope to our communities.
Today is not just an event, it is a covenant. A covenant that the women of Plateau State will take ownership of the renewed hope agenda and deliver it door to door, word to word, and local government to local government.
The event ended with the inauguration of coordinators for the 17 local government areas and the presentation of APC flags, marking the beginning of a new grassroots mobilization drive ahead of the 2027 general elections. Percy Dabang, Channels Television News.
And in part two, after the break, a new chapter in Nigeria's medical history unfolds as Redemption City along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, as Redeemer's Health Village officially launches its robotic surgery program. Please join us again.
award goes to the most punctual student of the entire school. And the winner is Lisa Solomon.
Company is telling me that she makes her daughter skip breakfast just to be here. You people could have just asked. I would have been happy to tell you my secret.
Enjoy instant goodness with John Vent's 3-in-1 chocolate. The quickest start to your morning.
For years, we believed that world class meant far away. In healthcare, precision is everything. But the distance between you and exceptional care has just disappeared. We don't just practice medicine, we are driven by high standards. At Duchess International Hospital, we've brought the world's most advanced technology and global expertise right to the heart of Lagos, where cutting-edge technology meets the warmth of Nigerian hospitality. Recover in our warm, hospitable wards and dedicated physio units designed for your comfort and recovery. For VIP patients, our exclusive Royal Suites offer comfort and privacy. From complex cardiac procedures to premium wellness checks, no visas, no long flights, just family by your side. Exceptional healthcare isn't only across the ocean anymore. It's here. Duchess International Hospital, world-class care here at home. Experience the new standard.
SG baby, yaga yaga. She call me party starter. Gen Z president, Yastrata, Yastrata, Yastrata. They them bad, but they know so we bada. Flies DJ, no be lamba. Yastrata, Yastrata. The girlfriend, I'm a drink, I'm a swag. Bastrata, yaga yaga. Bastrata, party starter. Bastrata, Yastrata, Bastrata, 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 party starter. Bastrata, Bastrata.
Every morning is a good time to show love in the way that matters. And showing love begins with breakfast, the first gift of the day to you and your loved ones. Not just any breakfast, but one made with peak milk because it contains vitamins, proteins, and calcium to keep you nourished and ready for the day. Breakfast is love. Show it every morning with the nourishing goodness of Peak evaporated milk.
Peak. Reach for your peak.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Former Liberian President George Weah says the rule of law is crucial to safeguarding Africa's fragile democracies. He made this remark in his keynote address at the 66th Annual General Conference of the Nigeria Bar Association. Civil society organization SERAP asks INEC to disclose the measures it has put in place to monitor, investigate, and enforce compliance with political donation limits and party financing rules during the ongoing electoral process. And Young Progressives Party elects Peter Agada as its new presidential candidate at an emergency National Executive Council meeting monitored by INEC. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump says that Canada wants to benefit of being the U.S. state without actually becoming one, following the collapse of talks between both countries. As political campaigns begin ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma says that All Progressives Congress APC will continue to intensify its grassroots mobilization across the 27 local government areas of Imo State. Governor Uzodinma made this known in Owerri, the state capital, while presenting campaign vehicles to the 27 APC local government chairmen as part of efforts to strengthen the party's grassroots structure ahead of the elections. The governor has charged the party leaders to ensure the vehicles are deployed strictly for mobilization activities and other legitimate party engagements at the grassroots. Medical history has unfolded at the Redemption City as the Redeemer's Health Village officially launched its robotic surgery program. At an event in Lagos with top health stakeholders and leaders of the Redeemed Christian Church in attendance, the CEO of the center, Dr. Dada, says the robotic service sets a new standard for medical excellence in Nigeria. Our correspondent, Chris Lems, reports.
It's a gathering of distinguished stakeholders in the health sector and leadership of the Redeemed Christian Church as Redeemer's Health Village launches its robotic surgery program.
We built everything the technology needs to work.
The board chairman kicks off the event, outlining why robotic surgery represents the next chapter in medical innovation.
As surgeons, we were raised to believe that after the sliced bread, we were God's next gift to mankind. And there is really nothing that we cannot do. But suddenly, these machines have come and they have humbled the mighty surgeon. Because the things that we do, not only do they do it better, they do it faster, the time to recovery is shorter, the complication rates are less.
Chairman of the event and former Health Minister Dr. Adeleke Mamora acknowledges the massive impact this medical leap brings to Nigeria's health sector.
While some overseas referrals may remain inevitable, our collective goal should be to ensure that an increasing number of advanced surgical procedures can be performed safely and successfully here in Nigeria. That is why today's initiative deserves our full attention.
The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Salako, commends the church's initiative, noting it perfectly aligns with the federal government's health reforms.
Your investment of about $4 million USD in this endeavor is a clear demonstration of your belief in the economic reform that are currently being implemented by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. I invite other Nigerians in diaspora to follow this example by investing in Nigeria, generating jobs, and creating prosperity for our people.
The Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Dada, unveils the blueprint for the Redeemer's Health Village, highlighting its transformational potential.
So what we are launching today is robotic services, but we cannot launch robotic services without letting you know that in the pipeline is the Robotic Academy. And the good news is that the robots are here. We have 2 robots, okay? One robot is for services, the other robot is for training.
The initiative is a strategic partnership with RoboMed. The CEO takes the stage to share a groundbreaking update.
I want to announce that, with permission, that in a few weeks, we will perform the first telesurgery between Lagos and Abuja.
Pastor Joseph Obayemi delivers the message from the General Overseer, Pastor Enoch Adeboye.
Our interest in health care is rooted in our commitment to the well-being of humanity and the wish of God that we all live in perfect health. 3 John 1:2 says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prosper.
Sitting on 12 hectares at Redemption City, the 300-bed Redeemer's Health Village boasts state-of-the-art facilities, firmly positioning itself for the future of medicine.
In this particular wing, we can have up to 4 family members stay with the patient as well as the medical team. It is not your regular bed or your regular bed space. It is a space where you can ventilate a patient, dialyze a patient, and be able to get every form of point of care diagnosis. Also excited to have the IVF center, which has commenced since 2 months ago. And this is meant to help those who are looking to have their own babies and be supported to go through the process.
With the launch complete, Redeemer's Health Village's bold mandate to offer affordable, world-class healthcare stands ready to bridge the systemic gap and provide much-needed succor to Nigerians. Chris Lems, Channels Television News.
And as Nigeria grapples with water scarcity, climate pressures and declining ecosystems, stakeholders are seeking stronger collaboration and investment to help address the country's growing water security challenge. This formed part of discussions at an evening of art and dialogue in Lagos, organized by Lokoja Dialogues and the Federal Palace Hotel, which focused on the link between water security, community resilience, and economic prosperity.
Stories of a Broken Water Cycle is an intimate evening designed to use art and dialogue to draw attention to the country's water crisis and its wider economic consequences. The event, hosted by Lokoja Dialogues in partnership with the Federal Palace Hotel, brought together stakeholders from the private sector, business, government, diplomacy, philanthropy, and civil society.
Earlier this year, the United Nations declared that the world is no longer in a water crisis, but that it is actually water bankrupt. Now here's the thing. Nigeria suffers from a water paradox. We have ample fresh water, yet Nigeria ranks globally as one of the most water-stressed countries. Lokoja Dialogues exists to help support a process that needs to move from crisis response to bankruptcy management. There is a need for a structured recovery plan.
The guest speaker, the MD CEO of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, says his organization is working to position water as an investable asset class capable of attracting large-scale domestic and international capital.
I'm proud to say that only 2 weeks ago we succeeded in closing an additional $30 million investment, taking us to $130 million, allowing us to provide guarantees of up to $4 billion. And I think this has been fundamental in terms of being able to unleash what you're able to do with water as an investment class.
The event also featured a robust conversation from stakeholders present, as well as the unveiling of the Dafuna installation, drawing on one of Nigeria's most significant archaeological reminders of its ancient relationship with water.
I've challenged them to work with the government in terms of legislation, policy formulation, for policy that is sustainable, that will also be that is enforceable. So if that is put in place, the private sector that will invest will come to invest because they want safety.
Now, of course, we know that the federal government, under the able leadership of our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is playing a major role through, in this case, in the first instance, the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, who are in direct partnership and liaison with Lokoja Dialogues to use their convening power to bring not so much the physical or the financial resources, but the moral support. And I think that's an ideal way in which to approach a problem that many people are concerned about worldwide. It is not insoluble. It is something that requires all hands on deck, and that is what I think is happening.
The Lokoja Dialogues, launched in November 2025, is a community-driven platform seeking to connect local water realities with policy makers, technical experts, financiers, and service providers. The expectation is that these conversations will yield the necessary investments and interventions capable of reaching the communities most affected by Nigeria's water crisis. Shola Shieli, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, nabbed centenarian for allegedly selling illicit drugs. Please stay with us.
SG baby, yaga yaga. She call me party starter. Gen Z president, Yastrata, Yastrata, Yastrata. They them bad, but they know so we bada. Flies DJ, no be lamba. Yastrata, Yastrata. The girlfriend, them a drip, I'm a swag. Yastrata, yaga yaga. Yastrata, party starter. Yastrata, Yastrata, Yastrata.
Welcome back. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have recorded major drug seizures across the country, including the arrest of a 101-year-old woman in Ogun State and the interception of cocaine hidden in Cassava Dough. The agency also seized 2 large consignments of loud, which is a form of synthetic cannabis worth more than 4.4 billion naira at the Apapa and Lekki ports in Lagos. In Ogun State, NDLEA operatives arrested Esther Ogunabo, who's 101, in Ilito, with 90 grams of skunk, a type of cannabis she allegedly sold in small quantities. The agency says the woman claimed she turned to drug dealing after her provision shop was destroyed by fire. But NDLEA Chairman Brigadier General Buba Marwa ordered her release on bail and counseling because of her age, while her daughter was arrested. In Akwa Ibom State, NDLEA operatives intercepted a boat headed to Cameroon with 3 suspects and 42.6 kilograms of narcotics, including cocaine hidden in cassava dough. Meanwhile, the agency also seized 2 containers of loud at Lagos ports worth over 4.4 billion naira in its first recorded interception of drugs shipped from Thailand. And to other stories, the governor of Taraba State, Abu Kefas, has launched the state's climate change policy and action plan, all to build a state that is environmentally sustainable, economically prosperous, and resilient to the challenges of the changing climate. Unveiling the policy document, the governor says that the framework is a call for critical and practical steps in determining the state's environmental future, preservation of its biodiversity, and ensuring collective action across sectors to help build an environmentally sustainable and climate-resilient state.
It's the flag-off of the first phase of the Kefas Enterprise Fund and the unveiling of the Taraba State Youth Development Roadmap from 2026 to 2031 and the Taraba Youth Agenda 2050. The initiative represents a bold step by the state government towards creating more opportunities for young people through entrepreneurship, enterprise development, skills, innovation, employment, and sustainable youth empowerment as the government rolls out 500 million naira for the exercise.
This is one of the boldest youth investment programs ever undertaken by our state. For the beneficiaries, this is not just a financial support, it is an opportunity to start up something meaningful, expand an existing business, or turn an idea into a source of livelihood.
For us at the Made in Nigeria Special Project, now domiciled Made in Taraba Project, our work does not end at the disbursement today. We stand ready to work with you, offering technical guidance, helping you to strengthen your operations, and opening markets both within and outside Nigeria.
The state has already captured over 65,000 youths in the government's database for empowerment, and the Minister of Youth Development believes the initiative is an investment in the future of Taraba State, charging other states to toe a similar line.
Many young people, we have the energy, we are ready to work, but they need someone who can give them the chances. I'm using this opportunity to call on every other subnational we have in this country, I mean other governors, that please toe the path of Mr. Governor of Taraba State.
In his remarks, Governor Abu Kefas says his administration is building the next generation of entrepreneurs and employers of labor. He announced that the second phase of the empowerment exercise will increase from 500 million to 1 billion naira.
What we'll continue to do is to make sure that our young people find a space in life. So just like the Honorable Minister predicted, the next batch, which is going to come end of this month, is going to be 1 billion naira.
Governor of Taraba State and
The highlight of the event is the unveiling of a book titled Future Ready, a practical guide for skills by the minister, as well as the unveiling of the Taraba State Youth Development Roadmap 2026 to 2031. There was also the presentation of checks to youths, while the governor received an award as the emancipator of youth in Taraba State.
5 years on the throne, the Olu of Warrior Giami Atuwashe III is being celebrated for a reign marked by a renewed sense of cultural identity, peace building and development in the Warri Kingdom. And this milestone brought together political leaders, traditional rulers and other dignitaries who all gathered to honor the monarch and reflect on the impact of his leadership since his coronation.
It's a grand celebration of royalty, culture, and 5 years of transformative leadership as the Olu of Warri, Ogiame Atuwase III, marks his 5th coronation anniversary. The colorful ceremony attracts an impressive gathering of dignitaries, including the Governor of Delta State, Sheriff Owerri, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy, Hamatu Musawa, members of the Delta State House of Assembly, service commanders, royal fathers from across the country, and other distinguished guests. The rich cultural heritage of the Shekiri people takes center stage as traditional dances, captivating performances, and elaborate royal regalia transforms the occasion into a spectacular display of pomp and ceremony, bringing the traditions of the Warri Kingdom to life. One after the other, guests pay homage to the monarch, honoring a king who has continued to champion the identity, unity, and aspirations of the Shekiri people. For the governor of Delta State, the anniversary represents far more than the commemoration of a traditional milestone. He describes the 5-year reign as a period marked by renewed glory, peace building, unity, and remarkable progress, not just for the Shekiri people, but for Delta State.
He is a unique monarch with uncommon leadership abilities. The Olu is a cerebral monarch, bridge builder, exemplary leader.
While the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy says the event underscores the vital role of traditional institutions in preserving the country's rich cultural heritage.
I do believe that history is going to look back and judge him as one of the greatest custodians of our culture. I'm so proud of him, and I'm so proud to embrace my identity as a Nigerian through his eyes, through the Shekiri and through Warri.
Reflecting on 5 years on the throne, the Olu of Warri attributes the achievements recorded under his reign.
We are grateful to God for 5 years of grace, 5 years of what only He could do.
As the monarch enters another chapter of his reign, the 5th coronation anniversary serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring influence of traditional institutions as guardians of culture, custodians of history, and partners in peace and progress.
The U.S. Consulate in Lagos has formally launched the $125,000 U.S. Ambassadors Fund for Cultural Preservation grants for the Center for Memories, Enugu, to conserve and preserve the Ledger Iron Melting Site, one of the earliest known iron melting sites in sub-Saharan Africa. That event took place at the National Museum right here in Lagos. Our correspondent, Samarachi Ubani, reports.
Witnessing this historic event of the U.S. Ambassadors Fund for Ledger at the National Museum, Lagos, are the new Consul General, Brandon Hudspeth, members of the Consulate General in Lagos, the Deputy Governor of Enugu State, Ifeanyi Osai, the Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, the National Commission for Museums and Monuments, and members of the Smithsonian Institute, among other very important guests. Having been serenaded into the program by a son of Ledger, A representative of the Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, and the person of Executive Director, National Film and Video Censors Board, Dr. Shaibu Hussaini, commends the U.S. mission in Nigeria for the feat.
It's not just an archaeological marvel, it is an undeniable testament to ancient Nigerian sophistication, technological ingenuity, and scientific mastery.
The Deputy Governor of Enugu State said Leja speaks to the character of people existing way ahead of their time.
It speaks to a people who are brilliant. It speaks about our forebears who had so much innate wisdom, who had the ability to conquer the challenges their times presented before them.
The U.S. Consul General says the grant is not aid.
This is not aid. This is a strategic economic intervention that advances all of our interests, whether they are American, Nigeria, or in fact the entire global community.
The signing of the document seals the partnership and reality of the new project. Later, Director of Center for Memories in Enugu, Ihai Igboku, says the grant will go beyond preservation to benefiting the people of Leja.
By the time we start and continue this project, it will be deeply meaningful to the people. They will begin to connect because we are disconnected.
So this is 2026. It should be finished by 2028.
Beyond Nigeria, those involved in the project are excited about Leja becoming a tourist attraction and education site for all. Amarachi Ubani, Channel Television News.
Now, tension is rising in the Maidan community in Mai 12 in Ikosi Sherry local government area of Lagos, where residents say perimeter construction has resumed around their neighborhood despite a court injunction, fueling fears of fresh displacement and insecurity in the area. Community leaders and affected residents are now calling for the state government intervention.
Eyewitness footages show an excavator tearing down concrete houses at Maidan community. Residents say the demolition traces back to December 15, 2025, when officials they identified as from the Lagos state government arrived to carry out the exercise.
Told us that they are coming to Gegere to demolish the shanties over there. But we were shocked when they started their job. We asked them, where are you going? This is not Gegere, because I was in that meeting. I was telling them, this is not Gegere, this is not Gegere. Please leave our community. They started demolishing houses. We've pleaded with Governor Sanwo-Olu. We've seen nothing. We've heard nothing. We pleaded with Speaker. We've heard nothing, we've seen nothing. But we are now pleading, begging our father, the father of the nation, the president.
It is very, very devastating that somebody could come under the government and come and do something of such. A lot of people have died.
So where are you right now? How are you being accommodated or sheltered?
Well, we just have to move to another place. Pending the time, we'll get justice.
Schools, clinics, and places of worship were also affected, according to community members. Pastor Bayo, who built and leads a church here for decades, shares his ordeal following the demolition.
We have 4 structures here. One is 3-story building. There is one here which is bungalow, where we are sitting now. All buildings were pulled down on that Monday, 15th of December, 2025. We've had nowhere to worship again. We were not prepared for all this demolition. We have quite some souls here that we minister to. Nowhere to take them to. No notice, no warning, no news, nothing at all. I just was called at home on that Monday 15th of December, that demolition was going on. And we're making preparation to do the regularization with government.
After attempts to halt the exercise failed, Community leaders say they obtained a court injunction intended to pause further actions pending a full hearing. But despite the alleged court injunction, the sight of new perimeter work reignites anxiety. Laborers prepare ground as sand and blocks are stacked along paths.
So we thought, instead of renting canopy every Sunday and paying so much money, to build this small structure to cover us from rain and sun. So we did this. 2 days after, they came to say that they were going to fence us out.
From Ikosisheri SCDA, we realized that they were the one, even in the forefront, even more than Lagos State, telling us that they are, in fact, some of their guys are leading the task force to our area.
The Lagos State Building Control Agency and the local council authority have been linked to previous operations, though officials are yet to respond to fresh allegations. The chairman of Ikosi-Sherry Council Development Area, Mrs. Samiat Abolanle Bada, declined an on-camera interview. In a WhatsApp message, she insists she was not aware of the matter. For Maidan community, the wait is for answers. The questions remain. Who ordered the demolitions? What laws govern the exercise? And what relief, if any, is available to those affected?
And now to the arts. Wild meets urban. In a photo exhibition at the Didi Museum in Lagos, Ako Gwagbe, an engineer and physicist turned photographer, transformed his love for nature and his surroundings into breathtaking images through his lens, exploring the textures of life through landscapes, wildlife, and documentary images of everyday encounter. Let's see that on Art Review tonight.
Dr. Ako Ogbabe, an engineer and physicist with a passion for photography, demonstrates the intersection of visual thoughtfulness, cultural observation, and storytelling in his latest exhibition at the Didi Museum in Lagos.
I'm not an artist. I'm just a hobby photographer, and somehow my pictures have attracted attention, and was invited to do an exhibition in Lagos. I live in Jos.
The solo exhibition, titled Wild Meets Urban, explores the texture of life through landscapes, communities, wildlife, and documentary images of everyday encounters.
From the title of this exhibition, Wild Meets the Urban, we are saying that there's something that we pass by every day and do not give attention to. And that's what the artist has tried to do. We try to bring the wild to us in the city. There's so much to learn from the wild.
The artwork is real life, because I was with my husband a lot of the time when he took these photographs, and so he shared his love of nature with me and opened my eyes to see some of the things, amazing things that he was seeing in the garden, when he goes for walks, long walks, and so on. So the whole idea of conservation and love of nature and what is growing wild, what God has created, he has shared it with me a lot, and I share his passion and his love.
The collection reflects the idea that every part of nature is a work of art, a source of both inspiration and tranquility.
Well, I tried to make sure that each part of the wild is represented. The birds, the human beings, the rocks, the animals. Make sure they are all, and even the landscape, make sure they are all represented, so that you have a panoramic view of what the Wild is about.
Through his lens, the artist transforms his love for the natural world and its surroundings in Jos Plateau State into breathtaking visual tapestries that reinforce the theme of the show.
And in the world of sports, the National Sports Commission has congratulated Esther Mba and Pamela Bauer after securing qualification for the beach volleyball at the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. Nigeria stunned Morocco 2-0 to win the 2026 African Beach Volleyball Champions Women's Final in Alexandria in Egypt. But the Nigerian pair finished second in Pool D after suffering their only defeat of the tournament to Morocco's Alexandria Eharat and Nora Dara. But they bounced back impressively in the final when they met again to secure the country's first ever African beach volleyball title after 4 previous unsuccessful attempts. Embattled FIFA President Gianni Infantino has called for dialogue amid controversy over his failed attempt to sell off stakes in the World Cup as he bids for re-election. Speaking during a visit to the Dominican Republic for a Caribbean Football Union meeting, Infantino insists on the need for greater investment in global football.
A lot has been happening in the last few weeks, and it's important that you hear, you listen, and you are able to also express what your feelings are. So I think overall positive, very, very happy with all the support I get here. We want to grow football in every one of our 211 countries in the world. Some, unfortunately, don't need and they don't want that others grow. But we need to narrow this gap between the big countries and all the others. The big ones, they're doing a great job, and we commend and congratulate them, and they should continue to grow as well, obviously, but we need to give a chance to all the others. We need to find investments for all the others, opportunities.
And Liverpool midfielder Dominic Szoboszlai has scored a penalty with the last kick of the game to rescue a dramatic 2-2 draw against Newcastle in the first match in charge of Reds earlier today. Areola also is the figurehead of the new era of Liverpool after Arne Slot's closes in sacking in Mohamed Salah's departure to Trabzonspor. But earlier, Manchester City made a winning start to life without Pep Guardiola, as late goals from Mark and Joseph also snatched a dramatic 2-1 victory against Bournemouth in Enzo Maresca's first Premier League game as a Spaniard's replacement. Brighton kicked off their own new Premier League campaign in emphatic fashion by thrashing Europa League winners Aston Villa 4-0 at Amex Stadium. And Francis Tiafoe has also advanced to the Cincinnati Open final for the second time in 3 years. The 17th seed defeated Brandon 7-5, 6-3 in All-American semi-final to book his own place in the championship match. The finalist at the ATP Masters 1000 event in 2024 aims to go one step further this year and claim his biggest career title. The 28-year-old will now meet 21st seed Arthur Fils in the final, guaranteeing a first-time ATP Masters 1000 champion.
Yeah, and of course it had to be the forehand.
from sports and outsider shores, the U.S. President Donald Trump says that Canada wants the benefit of being a U.S. state without being one. And his comments are coming after trade talks between the two countries collapsed on Friday. In his first comments since negotiations broke down, triggering a new 50% U.S. tariffs on a range of Canadian goods, Mr. Trump also said that American farmers had been charged massive amounts of tariffs for years. And this is coming after Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney called for fresh tariffs, a miscalculation designed to hurt and divide us. Mr. Carney also confirmed he will match Mr. Trump's tariffs dollar for dollar from September the 8th, including levies on steel, dairy, appliances and electronics. It says that the U.S. and Canada are now in a trade war. And around 120 homes have been destroyed after a major fire tore through the traditional Sade village in Indonesia's Lombok Island. No deaths or injuries have been reported, and around 320 people have been affected by the blaze, many of them evacuated during the disaster. The fire broke out at about 10:15 p.m. local time on Saturday. That's according to provincial disaster officials. Fire crews and emergency agencies battled the blaze through the night before it was fully extinguished at around 5 a.m. on Sunday. Authorities are providing food and temporary accommodation while assessing the damage and the need for displaced families, while the cause of fire remains under investigation. And the main news again. Former Liberian President George Weah today said the rule of law is crucial to safeguarding Africa's fragile democracies. He made this remark in his keynote address at the 66th Annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association. Also, civil society group SERAP is asking INEC to disclose the process it has put in place to monitor, investigate and enforce compliance with political donation limits, party finances during the ongoing electoral process. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawade. Good night and have a wonderful week.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Diaspora Network, the program that celebrates Nigerians making remarkable strides around the world. I'm Teniola Oyetayo. On today's program, we meet Dr. Bashir Agbola, a Nigerian technology executive, digital health leader, and founder of DimeCare Telehealth. With years of experience in healthcare technology and leadership in the United States, he speaks to us about digital transformation, telemedicine, and how technology can help improve access to healthcare. But first, let's take a look at the latest news